I'm Michel van der Kar, architect from Oma. We worked together with A49 in the company Dragon Limited for this project.
And myself, Somge, director from A49. Yeah. We work with Ome.
Our role was to actually design the overall master plan together with A49 and with the two clients, Central Park and Dusit Central Park. And the main program was a huge scale project with hotel, offices, retail, and a big apartment tower. That was in.
We also sort of participate from the beginning, but our role will kind of getting more intense, toward the later stage, until and we also take care of the construction stage as well.
I think it really balanced out. So in the beginning, we were involved in A49 here.
Yeah.
Then we went down, and A49 went up. Right, so that is in a graphic way how it actually balanced out.
Yeah. But of course, during the construction, we need to sort of prepare like mock-up, Ome also involved in that kind of review to make sure that it's still in line with, the vision.
The initial idea. Yeah. When we received the brief, we immediately saw that it was a very dense program, if you consider the site, and if you see from where you start, actually, because when we first visited the site, there was Dusit Central Park with its heritage and a long history, and it was built in the 70s. Then it was one of the few high-rises at this location. If you look around now, it's totally dense, and then this was actually the only part left where there was still a lot of green around and a relatively small building. So that made the client decide, I think, to densify the site, put way more program into the plot. It was immediately the challenge, bring these program components into one complex.
I can also add from what I learned through the project. I believe the brief also called for, or at least the kind of spiritual brief, called for like a landmark project, That's why they went to Ome. And I believe one of the brief was also to sort of kind of reinterpret the Thainess kind of thing, right? Because this is such a heritage hotel, in Bangkok. Yeah.
I think the heritage. I think we come immediately to the point that we sort of had to refer in a almost literal way to the spire on the main Dusit Central Park. There was no discussion there. Mm-hmm. The hotel should have the spire, because we thought like maybe we can work around and make a sort of reference or a glimpse to the past, but no, it had to be sort of almost literally translated into the hotel tower. Yeah. So that was one of the challenges, to be honest, because we had to respect it. We had talks about it with Kun Shanin, with Kun Sham, about how to do this, and Kun Shanin even made a sketch himself, like this is the essence of Dusit Central Park. He explained about the sky lobby and about the setback. I remember that it was on a Friday afternoon, and we had to meet, especially Kun Shanin, on this topic.
I see.
Because I think he even told us he had to explain the whole heritage and why it was so important.
But in the stacking of the mass, you also made a reference to like.
Thing
like
indeed, more on a bigger scale, because I immediately jumped to small scale. Yeah. On a bigger scale, how to translate Thainess and what is Thainess. Yeah. We did some studies, and of course then you end up with temples almost, but you cannot literally translate the shape of a temple, but what you can see is the stepping always in these temples. So that is what we, in a sort of abstract way, translate into the, especially in the office tower and in the apartment tower, that we take the silhouette of the temples.
That's right.
Actually, we made it a sort of layered spire. Yeah. So the real spire is in the structure itself. Yeah. There's a sort of double silhouette. If you look carefully, you can see it.
I got question like, is that the old spire? No, it's like almost more than twice as big, because the building is much bigger than the old one. Yeah.
So we had to stretch it even to
and
give
kind
it
of
the
rescale.
special number also.
That's
no?
right. That's some
2, 3, 4, I think.
the lucky number
The
of
lucky
each.
number, yeah. 2, 3,
I
4.
mean, like exactly this
Top height.
high.
In fact, if you look close, you can also see the old facade. We made box windows, so really framed windows which stick out the building.
Yeah.
And in the former Dusit, it was actually the other way around. It was more setback with this pattern of in-betweens,
The balcony.
which the balconies which
The
tapered up to the height. And actually in this hotel we did the other way around, stick out the facade itself and then stagger them on top of
And
each other.
actually it's also kind of carry on to the office, to the retail part as well.
There's a direct relation with the color of the building itself. We made it gold yellowish.
And
Yeah.
you have to go back to your master plan.
That
right?
was the biggest challenge. How can we realize this program on this site and that everybody profits from the site? Because when we visited for the first time, that's actually always the sort of the fundamental question: where do you build? When we were here, we immediately saw the potential of the park. I mean, you don't have to explain; it's beautiful. So if you neglect that as an architect, then that's not good, I think. So, but then the next question is: how do you make the view part of your design, and how do you get the park in the building? And we almost made that sort of literal by pulling in the park up to the roof, and then as a sort of amphitheater almost, that the spectators look towards the park. But if you have such a huge program, it's of course very hard to give everybody first row seat almost. So that was, I think, the biggest challenge we had. And we made a lot of studying on massing.
Yes.
Because initially we started with the program even in one building, but in terms of use and client relationships and program itself, it was actually impossible to realize. So we cut the program in 3 towers on a big plinth, and then we started rotating and positioning them and how to make sure that everybody has 100% view. 100% view for everybody is the goal. Not only view, but also a certain privacy between the towers.
Exactly.
So we really made studies. If you're on this tower, what do you see from the other tower?
Right.
So the hotel is actually with its back
Yeah.
to the apartment tower,
Yeah.
but it makes space towards the park that also the apartment tower has full view to the park.
Even the office also need to, be so close to the residential tower. And you can't have people in the office looking back to the residence.
And then there was a moment when we thought that we had the perfect composition.
Yeah.
And there was one problem we discovered later, or it was remarked, because the office tower was facing too much to the hospital. And then the Feng Shui master told us that we cannot do that, and we have to turn the office tower away from the hospital because it would give bad energy if we keep it on that location. So that was another challenge to the composition.
What is so interesting was the zigzag facade also helped in terms of sort of guide your view away from the hospital, for example, or from the residence more, and guide your view more toward the park, something like that.
And that's when also A49 really stepped in to help us there, how to solve this problem. Because for me, to be honest, personally, it was totally new. Feng Shui defining, dictating almost the composition of the tower. We had 2 clients, and within the clients themselves, there were also 2 groups, almost 2 generations.
Yeah.
And everybody was involved. That may sound very difficult, but I think in the end it helped us to really emphasize and make it even the idea stronger. Because it gave a lot of discussion, but once the discussion was set,
Yeah.
It was much better than
Yeah.
without these discussions.
Yeah.
And I think Somkiat even mentioned it a while ago that there was a lot of fights. But I think it was not fights, it was a battle.
Yeah.
A battle is more you go for something positive, and fighting you try to kill each other. But that was
You're
not
right,
the case,
you're right.
of course.
You're right.
We worked really together, meaning clients, architects, and all the consultants. Because also I think also the facade consultant did an amazing role to get the box window as we initially designed it.
Right.
I mean, it looks very simple, but it's super complicated to build it.
That's right.
This window like it is now.
Yeah.
And it is about the size, because it's really like a painting almost. If you enter the room, you see Lumpini Park as if it is a painting. And I think if the facade consultant would have said, yeah, but this is impossible, the glass is way too big, you have to cut it into, make smaller frames, then the whole idea is gone. And I think also Koen Chanin was very enthusiastic about the idea to make such a sort of picture or painting frame in the hotel rooms. That is also really important, I think, that from the beginning the client is supporting your idea. Yeah. And it means that you have to build a lot of mock-ups. We literally built the mock-up in wood and then we put glass and then and it was and. And I think we even wanted to avoid to make an iconic building because it can get very bored after a while. Or it is boring after a while. And then it overscreams itself. And then I think there are a few iconic buildings, and for me that is of course the Eiffel Tower, which everybody knows. That's an icon. I think we wanted to do maybe even the opposite, because the site is in itself an icon. Dusitani is an icon, the name itself. So that is already a given, and you don't have to add anything more. So I think what we try to do is make the site part of our architecture, so that it is a very introvert setup, very polite towards the site, and every tower gives space to the other, and that in itself, this composition makes the icon, if you want to refer back to icon.
I believe I saw, I don't know, some sketch or something like that you're trying to sort of bring the park into the into the building as well. I think that kind of thing. Yeah.
In the concept phase, indeed, you refer to that we made a sort of amphitheater reference.
Yeah.
So there's the park.
Yeah.
There's the green coming up, and then we projected a sort of amphitheater in 3 pieces, and that was in one diagram the scheme of the concept.
You stay here, then you see the park, but you can feel the park as well when you come down to the roof. You can sense, you can get this smell. I mean, not only just visually looking at Lumpini Park. I think that is quite important.
It's a huge building, but it has a lot of intimate spaces, and I think that is also quite well done in terms of how to define all the different spaces around the complex, that you still feel human scale.
I think you have to answer. I've been here so many times already. But
for me, it was when I entered the hotel room. It is like you open the door, and you see the frame, you see the park. It is literally like walking into your own rendering.
I love that.
It feels very weird almost. And the same thing when you go up to the roof. And,
almost like a virtual reality, and then
Yeah. And also when you go up to the roof and you walk around the spire and in the sky bar, and you feel very
in the evening, right?
Evening,
Wow.
Yeah. Very nice to see that it has this result actually after all the discussions we had all together. Because I was also thinking on that designing is I don't like the word designing, but it's very individual. But what we did here is creating something together, and that is different than just design something. Creating is one big collective, and not only with A49, but with all the other landscape architects, with the client, which was, I think, very important in this whole process. The process really has a lot of advantage when everybody is so attached. So from Koen, Janine, Shamp, Joy, Koen Not, Kumbo, everybody was there. And they were really attached, and they really sketched, not only saying I don't like it, they were sketching what do we mean, what is this is too Western, this should be more Thai than some people stepped in and
collaborative effort. Right. All enlightening toward the opening of the project. What really impressed me was it get very well reception from the public. The hotel, is really get so much place, and then and even the roof park, we all know the story. It's really like the whole project becomes like a darling of Bangkok. Now it's like also one of the places to visit, something like that.
Because also what I remember from the sessions we had, that some people in the team were saying, this is a very part of the building. This is very Instagrammable. And I was like, what do you mean Instagrammable? Because I didn't even have Instagram at that moment. Now I know what it is because a few months ago I got the Instagram picture from Anutat saying, look, it's on Instagram and it's booming. so he did a well job. I was really astonished yesterday, flabbergasted almost. That all the people are taking selfies from the roof park and near the escalators. And I only knew it when we designed it.
The escalator part, we have to stand in line,
really?
In queue, waiting to take photo. That's also happened at the roof park, you have to wait in line to my turn. They are in their running gear, because they went to the park and then came here after, to have some coffee or something like that. Or in the evening they kind of get together before proceed to the park. It's really nice. I think that's another nice thing about the project. I think it sort of influenced the public in a nice way. For example, I believe after this project, some other sort of mixed-use project, they will start to consider like some public space, some free public space for people to coming up and then to have a good time, this kind of thing. You don't really need to pay for anything, that you can come up.
What I want to add is that indeed, I think you mentioned that it is open for public. All the spaces are open for public, even up to the roof. Because that happens I think I can compare it to what we did in the Netherlands. We also made a high rise. I can hardly say high rise if you compare it to this, but it's like 150 meters high. A huge building, also with office, hotel, and apartments. And it's really part of the city, but people cannot go up.
I see.
No public space in the top of that building, and that I think is a big difference with what you see here, because almost in every building you can go up and enjoy the city. And I think if you do something like that, you put a building like this on this side, and you don't allow the public to go up, I think then you make a big mistake. So what we do in the Netherlands is, I think, we should look more what happens here and literally open up the top floors of the building.
Not only Thailand, I believe, Singapore, Hong Kong. In future, you will see some project that they try to draw public up to their projects.
It happens all over the world, and I think that you are obliged to do that if you make such a complex with such an impact on the city, because it has a huge impact. Then you also have to take care for that it is open for almost everybody, well, not every space, but significant, the most important spaces.
Right. For me, it's a long journey, and then I think toward the end, when it start to take shape, and then you really see the finished building, then you start to wow. When the room, I believe on the 8th floor of the hotel, finished, and then we visit with all the interior, and then they open the curtain. It's not open, the hotel not open yet, but we visit the kind of final inspection, and then wow, it's really even we were with the project for so many years. We still kind of almost like stunned by the wow.
I had that moment yesterday in the hotel room when I
great.
opened the door and then
That's great. I
it's
mean,
like wow. But I said before that you walk into your rendering almost.
I think
your own idea. That for me was the I think the hotel room, and yesterday I also took a quick glimpse of the ballroom. That's the same. It's so impressive.
Huge. The setup, the suffer during the design process, we forgot already.
Yeah, but and then you can survive as an architect because if the result is not as expected, and you do so much effort all together.
And then after a while, you start the process again. Getting suffer, and then halfway toward the end.
Yeah. I think designing can be very individual, like all on your own, but making it happen is a creation of a whole team.
Yeah.
So first you start maybe by yourself sketching, but that sketch will never be built like that. I think those times are gone, that the classical architect makes a sketch and build it.
Master. Yeah.
There are so many people involved now, especially in this kind of projects, that it is really a collective effort to make your idea reality.
I think my message would be like to start with the persistency. You really try very hard, push all the way through the end. I think that's very important, and I hope everybody in the architecture field in Thailand, we try to do that. We should really try to get the result till the end. Just keep pushing.
I would say come and enjoy the view.
Yeah.